Hey traders, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are looking at the engulfing candle method and what that entails. So just to start us off, first of all, what is an engulfing candle? Now, most of you probably do know this, but an engulfing candle looks like this guy here. And basically, it's a bigger candle that swallows the candle before it. So this example, of course, we're looking at a bearish engulfing candle. All right, and if we look, I believe I had two examples in this one. If we actually look just left here, we can actually see an example of a bullish engulfing candle. And it simply means that in this case, there's a bullish candle swallowing up the little guy next to it, okay? Now, when we look at engulfing candles, there are technically some rules. However, for me, as long as the second candle swallows the previous candle, I consider it an engulfing. Other people prefer if, the wicks, okay, and the body are encompassed in the body of the second candle. That's not a rule I have for myself because the way I use the engulfing method is to draw, or the engulfing candle is to draw zones. So I'm not that picky. However, you can feel free to use it however you'd like. And that is essentially what an engulfing candle is. So again, it's just when you have one candle here and it gets swallowed up by the next candle, okay? Just like that. Now, how do we use it? So, and I've already alluded to this, but I use the engulfing candle to draw zones, and it's a really effective way to draw zones. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably already know this, so it might just be a refresher for you, but I did want to make a dedicated video on this as I get asked about it all the time. So going down to our steps, I am going to show you live examples as well, guys, by the way. The first thing we're going to do is plot support and resistance. Now, I do have in here that you can put like a simple and approximate line because we're working with areas here, right? We're going to be working with the zone, but just plot your support or resistance however you normally do it. In this example here, I've plotted our resistance line there, and I like to plot resistance or support through as many wicks as possible. That's just how I like to do it. So that's the most accurate way for me. Or you would plot, a support if you were looking for a support zone. Pretty easy, right? So you can do that whatever method you want to use to do that. Next, we're going to find our engulfing candle. So you're going to look for an engulfing candle at that level. Now, it doesn't need to be in this exact area. If you need to go back through history, that's fine. You'll see what I mean when we actually look at a real-time example. But it should be near or at support or resistance. So in this example, we're going to use this guy here. So we found our engulfing candle, and the next thing we're going to do is box in the smaller candle to create a zone. Okay, so what that means, and this is why I wanted to do this here before going to a live chart so I can really break this down for you. This candle here, this is our engulfing, right? We want to box in the smaller candle. So create a rectangle around the smaller candle, okay? Now, normally what we would do is use a rectangle tool, but obviously I don't have one. So I'm just gonna do a really rough job, but this would be our zone created using that method. Now I'll show you how to do it in TradingView with the actual rectangle tool next, okay? So let's go over to TradingView. I should have had this brought up, I apologize. And go to our chart. And I'm not logged in, I apologize, sorry guys. I am the queen of doing this. I'm just going to clean this up really quick because I don't want to put my password in right in front of you guys. So, okay. This is pretty easy anyway. I'm just going to quickly clear this. I just want to get rid of those little grid lines. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. And we'll get rid of the volume. Yeah, I'm usually use Google Chrome. And of course, I'm in Internet Explorer because I was using the other document there. So that's what happened there. So, okay. So looking at the euro US dollar, this is kind of nice though, because now I have a nice clean chart and it's not filled with, all of the, it's not filled with all of my markings, my drawings and stuff. So looking at this, now we can do this on the daily or the 4-hour time frame. Personally, what I do, I start on the daily. So I'll look at my daily zones first. So the first step is I'm going to take my line. Oops. Where is okay. I'm used to it being in my favorites. And I'm going to plot a resistance line. Okay, so I want to include as many wicks as I can. So this is going to be about where I put it. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is look for an engulfing candle around here. So I want a nice engulfing candle at this level. I don't see one there in the current area that we're in. Let's go back and see if I can find one around here. This is the worst thing about doing this live is sometimes you have to hunt for a nice engulfing candle, and other times it'll just be right there in front of you. Let's see if I can spot one around here. So you want it really close to your line. Let's keep going back. We will get one eventually. And it's also a lot easier to find them on certain time frames, of course, but the daily is going to be more accurate. So it'll be nice if we can spot one here. If not, we'll get another example. But this is what it would really look like. Sometimes you really need to go back and really analyze your chart and look at that area, multiple times. This does tell me that the area has been well respected at the very least. Okay, we should be able to find something here. So let's look for a nice engulfing candle. If I don't see one here, you guys, I might just do, I might do a different area so that this doesn't go on, but I can see that this level has been respected well and well again. So we should be able to find one here. Okay. So we do have okay. So this one is like not the best example just because if we zoom in, let me zoom you guys in. So if we zoom in here, where was I was looking? Yeah, I was looking right here. Like these are pretty much going, hold on. Let me grab my pencil. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me grab the drawing tool. Okay. What I'm looking at is this guy, but we can see like this area here. It's not a perfect engulfing because you'd really want that green one to be higher if that was a true bullish engulfing. However, I'm going to use this purely for the reason that I don't want to take like 5 minutes out of our session. I'm probably going to delete some of the time that it took me to even find this one, but I don't want to keep going on too long. And I just want to show you how I would actually draw it. So next we're going to grab the rectangle tool. I'm so used to these all being in my favorites. Now, here's something to note about how I draw zones. So what you could do, so you can box this whole guy in, okay, with the rectangle tool. You're just literally creating a rectangle over the smaller candle. Go to coordinates, and then this is how you can extend it. Just add a bunch of zeros, remove the negative there. Now you can make this look however you want, but what I would recommend is making like your daily one color, let's say purple, and then your 4-hour different color, let's say blue or red or something, whatever you want to do, right? So we zoom out. So this is going to be our daily zone, okay? I know it took a little bit of struggle, but we did find it. Then I'm going to remove that line because we don't need it anymore. Now what we're going to do is make sure that in the past, price has respected this level at least 3 times, and we can see it's respected it 1, 2, 3, 4 right off the bat. So this is a really strong zone. So we're going to go ahead and use this one. You can see multiple times where it's been respected. We can go to our current area. So this is the area we're looking at. We did have a little bit of slippage outside of that area, and that's totally fine. That's normal. No zone, no area is ever going to be perfect. But this has been highly respected. So we can now use this and wait for a breakout. So either a breakout above, a break and a retest, a break below, whatever you want to look for. So that's that. Let me find another example, but this time, let's do it on the 4-hour chart, and we'll use a different color this time. So the only reason, like the only difference, because I know you guys ask a lot about time zones, and really the only difference is going to be, it's largely going to depend on how you trade. So like if you're a day trader, you're going to want to be looking at the 4-hour zone. If you're a long-term trader, you're going to want to be looking at the daily zone, because those are the time frames in which you're trading, right? So it really, either zone should be accurate if you're going back and ensuring it's been respected. But just keep that in mind. Keep your style in mind, okay? Now we're going to try this again. So let's do a support this time, okay? So we can put in our support just like you normally would, however you want to do it. I do it like this. I include as many wicks as I can. Normally I'd go through and actually, move it up and down and try to perfect it. But this is fine because we are looking for zones, right? We're only looking for areas. Next thing we're going to do is look for a engulfing candle at this support. And I'm just like eyeballing this area to see if I have anything right off the bat. I'm not seeing anything. Hopefully this goes a little bit quicker than last time, but I'll zoom past it for you guys anyways if it's just me looking for candles for a long time. I know that gets boring. Let's see. I can tell this is going to be another good zone just by the rejection I'm seeing throughout here. And you really, hopefully this time we'll find I'm going to take my time and find a better example this time, you guys. Because I can see a few like right away, but they're not great engulfing candles. I want to get a good example for you guys and what you should actually use. Okay, so we've got one. So right here, now I'm going to zoom you in. We've got a beautiful bearish engulfing candle. I also want to really quickly talk about the significance of this. So why, if people ask me this all the time, why would you look for an engulfing candle, right? What's that proving? It's basically the reason this works, you guys, is this candle here is creating an area of significance because it's breaking out of an area, right? This is essentially breaking out of this support line. And that's really why these areas become of interest and why this works so well, because this candle here is showing such bearish momentum in this case away from this line. All right, that's why. So pretty simple when you look at it that way. So next thing we're going to do is box in that smaller candle. So let's grab our rectangle tool and box this whole thing in. Oh, something I wanted to note that I didn't say last time. If these wicks were really long, side note, I am going to change this now I'll just change it to yellow. These aren't colors I actually use, but okay. I'm going to change that to yellow because it's a 4-hour zone now. Something I wanted to mention, if I have a super long wick as my smaller candle, so like in this instance here, I'll usually just include the body if it's long. Okay. So let's see if I can find a good example of what I mean. Let's say this was an engulfing candle here. It's not, because this wick comes up and I had a really long wick on the inside. I'd only box in the rectangle. The reason being, usually really long wicks are news related and those areas are not of interest to me. So I just kind of ignore them. You can include the wick. It's just going to give you a bigger area and your entries aren't going to be as tight. All right. That's the only difference. So that's just a little note. If you watch my other videos, you can see lots of examples of where I talk specifically about that. So next step would be to go through, I'm just going to delete that, and ensure that this area has been respected at least 3 times, right? As either support or resistance. So I can see it's been respected here, here. Let's keep here. Okay, so we definitely have 3 times that it was respected. So I'm going to use this as a zone. See if I can get one more. If we can go back far enough. Okay, I'm not going to spend all day doing this. Okay, here we go. Here, here, okay, here, tons of times. So it's a nice zone. So we're going to go back. We're going to zoom out. Now you'll notice that your daily zones are a lot bigger than your 4-hour zones. Again, totally normal. That's what we would expect because we're moving time frames and because this is including more price action there. So that is how I do it. Hopefully this didn't drag on too long. Hopefully you got something from this video. I guess I'm not going to dive too much into how my exact strategy because that would get really, really long when I get into confirmations and stuff like that. But I do have a video about that and I'm going to link it below. I will actually remember this time. I know sometimes I say that and then I forget, but I will do that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next and I'll see you in the next one.